there's multiple answers. At the end of the day, good people want to work with good people. You want to have an environment where you feel appreciated, where you feel valued, and that your voice is heard. It's really basic for every human being to want those things, and so it requires good listening and organisations to understand individual needs. Everybody is the most important person in their own eyes, and they want to be able to get what they want on an individual level, and want to be able to do that without having to constantly ask for it. So organisations that do very well at understanding people down to the individual do well to retain people. I think when you're looking at retention strategies, to measure them is quite simple. It's around what does your turnover look like, and are you constantly hiring in a market? There's simple things there that you can look at, and if there's outliers in comparison to what competitors or what's happening in the market, then there's probably something more to look at there. I think with engagement, you're looking at just having more conversations with your employees on different levels, and I think that needs to be quite tailored to where you're talking to in the organisation, whether you're talking with a finance team or a human resources team, or whether you're talking about people that are working on a factory floor. That needs to be tailored to who you're talking to and who your audience is. And the engagement surveys that organisations do now are a great way to get that feedback back, so that you can understand how people are feeling within the organisation. I believe one of the biggest challenges we have now is what you need, what I need, what Joe needs, what Sally needs, what everyone needs is so different. And I think one of the biggest challenges we have right now is that people who design programs for L&D, or people who facilitate learning within the organisation, whether that be through giving the opportunity by paying for external education, may not actually know at every level of the business what people need. And that can be every level of the business and every generation of the business, because people are interdispersed between the different layers of the business everywhere. So it really comes down to really basic communication. We work in organisations that are not necessarily numbering in the tens of thousands, so it needs to be personal. It needs to be driven from conversations with managers and team leaders, so that they can understand what does an individual need. And I think that's what makes New Zealand such an interesting and beautiful country to work in. It's because we are so good at getting down to the one-on-one level and understanding what the individual need really does look like. And so developing programs that can be on the individual level is really the key for understanding what each generation needs, and whether that be online learning, or whether that be an MBA course, or whether that be a CPR course, or whatever that looks like. It needs to be driven from an individual perspective at the right level.